Hello there, and welcome to episode 5 of the Lessons I Must Learn series. Wow, it's been a while since I did the other couple of episodes, but I'm back to, making them. Also, I think it's just taken time to, even realize those lessons I must learn through experiences and whatever. So that's interesting. In case this is the first time you're coming across this series, it's basically where I would say call out myself on things that maybe I have believed in or assumed to be true regarding life, regarding just things. And basically, I think realizing that I need to have a shift in that. So basically, that's what Lessons I Must Learn series is about. Basically, I guess just doing better after knowing better and realizing that maybe some things are not okay. Today's lesson is, I don't know how to put it, but entertaining the thoughts and believing that good things will happen to me, and good things can and will happen, sometimes even much greater than I might perceive or believe. So I don't think it's a secret, but usually I struggle to think good things or more positive things. And you see, when people say, I guess with everything, even building a habit, people always liken it to like a muscle that you have to build. So you need to like constantly do it so that it becomes, I guess, part of your lifestyle or something of the sort. So I think it's that thing of it's probably a muscle I should build. And usually in the beginning, I guess it's painful because, of course, I've had those stories. And I mean, I've also been on a hike, or, people don't want to believe it's a hike, but in my books it is. And after, I felt sore, and I wasn't sure whether I would like even make it a thing as often just because of that pain. But once you keep doing it, I guess the pain becomes, I don't know, maybe more bearable, or it's a bit different. I guess your body is able to adjust better to, help you even do it within a shorter time and things like those. So I think for me, that's what I want to liken this situation with, like to also be in a position where I can actually work this muscle and get to that point where I can safely and confidently trust that good things will happen and are happening for me, as opposed to the negative. So there's this thing a tweet I saw, basically saying, believe that it can happen for you even when you don't know how it will happen. And I guess like no truer words have been said before, because I just remembered certain situations where good things have happened, like where I've actually thought about good things happening and they happened. And I think the first time it happened, I was like, is this actually happening? Is this real? Is this even going to last? Like maybe this is just that one shot in the dark that won't ever occur again. But then it happened a second time, and I was like, okay, like maybe this is actually something that I could actually be easy about and just breathe and let go and trust that good things will happen. So I remember the first one was a trip I did, and towards about the time I was about to travel, I just started feeling a bit anxious. Also, I was paying for the trip with like on a payment plan, and I was like, I don't know if I was going to like manage paying it in full, especially because it was a luxury trip. So it was pricier, and in comparison to if it wasn't. And I remember I was like, okay. And then there were all these things to fill in, like a travel authorization, and basically just things I feel like you need to get in order. And I think especially if you're traveling as a person of color, sometimes in most cases you have to like go the extra mile to have your proper stuff, and even additional unnecessary stuff, just because I mean anything can just come up and you just need to anticipate, I guess, every situation. So the time arrives and I'm like, okay, this is happening and stuff. So I actually started like the journey, the trip. I arrive, it's good, but I do get a bit of issues post immigration services. Like literally, I was just about to exit, and then someone just attempts to ruin your joy at that particular moment. And then I was like, oh my goodness, now will I be told those things that I hear that show your account and like what balance you have and something of the sort. But you see, like initially I had already created this mental picture of how this trip was going to look like, and I was traveling solo, as most of my trips usually are. I was going to meet new people, and I was like, I don't know if I'll be like socially awkward. Will I even manage to socialize? It's very, very challenging for me. But I had this rough picture of how it's going to be, and then I go for this trip, and let me tell you, mind blown. Like it was far greater than I thought. And even like that small altercation, not altercation, but whatever situation that it was, literally is like nothing compared to how amazing that trip was. Like it's unparalleled. And I was like, wow, so I could have actually imagined a fantastic trip, and my reality is way better than what I had thought. And I was like, okay, maybe we're onto something here. And then recently also, in relation to this trip thing, I also had specifically envisioned a certain way my experience would look like. And sometimes also, if you're traveling to certain countries and you've heard stories about people and their experiences, again, if they're like people of color, especially black, you just hear negative things, and you're like, okay, you anticipate that as well. But then you're like, okay, maybe you'll be sheltered and this might be different for you. So I also had this mental picture of how it's going to look like. And for me, that's something I do a lot. I'm very specific. Like I just literally imagine specific things on how I want to experience something. So that happens again, and literally again, mind blown. Like better than what I had thought. Like my reality is better than what I imagine. And I'm like, hold up, like this could be a thing. Like I could make it a thing. And I think for me, I just want to get to a point where I am able to remember those instances more than I do remember maybe where things haven't worked out. Because I feel like sometimes I can easily just write off every good thing that has happened and then just default to, oh, how terrible or how bad, unfortunate this thing is going to be and stuff like that. So yeah, it even reminded me of this verse that basically says how God can literally just bless us and do for us things that are beyond what we even ask or imagine. And I'm like, what, that actually appears to be true based on my experience, because what I imagined, as in the reality of it, was better than what I imagined. And I'm like, okay, this is actually something I can confidently believe, and it's something I can trust in. And it's just, I guess, such a game changer. But I still want to work on making that my default rather than still the negative, because sometimes I can be like, it's so easy for me to forget the good, but I hold on to the bad. And I'm just like, I want to entertain more the good and believe that things are working out for me. Like, and especially like the way this one says, like even when I'm not able to see it, like they're actually working, like even in the background. And it's just, I guess for me it would be very freeing, because I think I could even trust myself more once I know that things will actually work out. Because I feel like once you're negative, you already start thinking, okay, so this won't work out, and then you start analyzing, so it won't work out because I'm not even that good, I'm not that, and it just becomes very self-deprecating talk, and it's just very, very bad. And I don't know if people think like I do, but that's how I basically think and process it. But when it's good, I actually just realize now that I don't really think like, oh, I'm that good, or I did that, or if I do, probably it's like more of a whisper, like, okay, I'm good. But if it's bad, I'm like, oh my god, you're pathetic. It's bad, but it's the truth. But it's also something I'm working on, and I would love to see how far I get by the time this year ends, hopefully at a better place. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share in this video. I don't know if there's anything I want to add, but yeah, in case you relate, you can also share. And if you have your own lesson you feel like you want to learn, you can also drop it in the comments. And if it's something that also clicks to me and I'm like, oh my goodness, yes, I also want to learn this lesson, I could also do a video on it. But honestly, I think that's it. Though in my head I just feel like, oh, there's something that I probably wanted to say, but it just escaped me, and literally that's the worst. Anyway, what do? Let me take a minute and just come back. Maybe I'll remember it. If I don't, I'll just come back to close this video. Alright, so I'm back, but honestly nothing has come to my mind. Yeah, so I guess I'll end the video here. But again, I just want to re-emphasize that I think for me what I want most is just, I guess, trusting myself to even believe that, like feeling safe within myself, and not just, you know, I guess self-sabotaging even those thoughts by inviting maybe those other negative thoughts. And I know it's not something that will be as easy as, you know, talking about it or even admitting to it. And I know it's going to take work, but it's work I want to do because I know it's going to be for my good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, you know, like, share with someone, leave a comment, and I will definitely be doing more of this. I feel like, oh, there are so many lessons I've learned. You know, some like are even like more personal. I think even there's a time when I was mentioning that thing for, you know, learning that some relationships are seasonal and all those things. I don't know if that really was a lesson or a thought and reflection, but I'm just like, oh, I've learned even so much more like since I did that video. So I think even at some point I'll be doing updates, but I guess maybe a year from now. So, but yeah, that's been it. I really loved talking about this. Honestly, I just love my YouTube space, and I wouldn't necessarily say because, oh, I feel like, oh, my content is so like well curated and so beautiful and all those things, but honestly for me it's just because it's so me. And like, it's like literally me. This is me, this is my life, this is what I do, these are the things that, you know, I think about day to day. This is my reality, and for me it's just, I guess, so affirming for myself to be able to share that and not feel any pressure to be any different. Honestly, I love it. I also love the fact that I feel like a lot of people are shifting from aesthetics, even like online on Instagram and such other platforms. And honestly, it's quite refreshing to just show up. Like, not every day that you look good, not every day that whatever, things are going well, things are perfect, but we move and we survive. And I think when more people see that, it's also affirming to them. But anyway, I don't want to start creating a whole other video, so bye bye.